You don't feel lonely because you lack people. You feel lonely because you live in a system that was never designed for human beings. You are surrounded by voices, images, and messages, but something ancient inside you is starving. Not for attention, not for validation, for belonging. Long before modern life, humans understood something we have forgotten. They called it Ubuntu. And without it, loneliness isn't a mystery. It's inevitable. This feeling you have isn't a personal failure. It's a deep, primal memory of a way of life that was torn away. A way of being human that centered not on the self, but on the whole. Today, we're going to explore this ancient wisdom and understand why, in a world more connected than ever, so many of us feel profoundly alone. In Ubuntu philosophy, a human being did not exist alone. Identity wasn't something you figured out inside your own head. It was relational. You became someone because others recognized you. Your name came from the group. Your role came from the group. Your dignity came from the group. You were never asked to be self-made. You were community-made. Think about that for a moment. The entire pressure to invent yourself, to build your own brand from scratch, simply didn't exist. Your value was inherent, a given, because you were part of the whole. Loneliness wasn't considered a normal part of life. It was a signal, a flashing red light indicating that something in the community was broken. If one person felt isolated, it was everyone's problem to solve. The health of the individual and the health of the group were inseparable. A person was a person through other people. This wasn't just a nice idea. It was the very fabric of existence, the operating system for human society. You were woven into a web of relationships from birth, a web that held you, defined you, and gave you purpose. Your very humanity was a shared project. Ubuntu placed belonging before achievement. You mattered before you succeeded at anything. You were protected before you proved your worth. This is a radical concept for us today. We live in a world where our sense of belonging is often conditional. It depends on our job title, our income, our successes. But in an Ubuntu-centric world, your belonging was unconditional. It was your birthright. Failure didn't lead to exile, it summoned support. If you stumbled, the community didn't turn its back. It rushed to lift you up. No one was expected to carry the burdens of life alone. The weight was distributed. Meaning wasn't something you had to go on a quest to find. It wasn't a puzzle to be solved in solitude. Meaning was lived, daily, through your responsibilities to others. Your purpose was found in your contribution to the well-being of the group. This wasn't a lofty philosophy discussed by scholars. It was a practical strategy for survival. A community where everyone supports each other is a community that thrives. It's a resilient system built on mutual care, where the success of one is the success of all. Modern life reversed everything. The great shift in our world was from the we to the I. Identity became personal, pain became private, and belonging became conditional. You are told, from a very young age, to find yourself, define yourself, express yourself, heal yourself, motivate yourself, always by yourself. We are expected to be emotionally autonomous, self-sufficient islands, something no human nervous system ever evolved for. We are social animals, hardwired for connection and co-regulation. For millions of years, our nervous systems relied on the presence of others to feel safe. And so, when you feel empty or anxious in this hyper-individualistic world, you assume something is wrong with you. You pathologize your own loneliness. But what if nothing is wrong with you? What if you are simply a healthy human being responding correctly to an inhuman social structure? The ache you feel isn't a symptom of your weakness. It's a symptom of the world's design. You are a finely tuned instrument for community, and you've been placed in a room with no one else to play with. This is why connection no longer feels real for so many of us. You have hundreds, maybe thousands of contacts on your phone and social media, but you don't have mutual obligation. You have conversations, but not shared responsibility. The connection of Ubuntu was binding. It was built on the reality that you needed others for your survival, and they needed you. It was a deep, functional interdependence. Modern connection, by contrast, is often optional. It's transactional. You can opt in or opt out with a click. Friendships can be faded out. Communities can be left. And when no one truly needs you for anything essential, your own existence can begin to feel light, replaceable, thin. The deepest loneliness isn't about being unseen. It's about feeling unnecessary. It's the quiet terror of realizing that if you disappeared, the world would carry on without a ripple. In an Ubuntu society, your absence would have left a gaping hole, a role unfilled, a set of duties left undone. You were essential. That essentiality is the bedrock of true belonging. The psychological cost of this modern arrangement is immense. This deep, structural loneliness produces a host of issues we see everywhere: pervasive anxiety, identity confusion, chronic dissatisfaction, and a quiet, gnawing despair. Meaning cannot survive in isolation. It withers and dies without the soil of shared purpose and mutual care. The Ubuntu philosophy understood this perfectly. A human alone becomes fragile, disoriented, unstable. Not because they are inherently weak, but because they are unfinished. A single thread isn't weak, it's just a thread. It only gains its true strength when woven together with others. We have been taught to admire the lone wolf, the self-made hero. But from an evolutionary and anthropological perspective, the lone human is a tragic figure, an aberration. We are not meant to face the storms of life on our own. This constant state of self-reliance puts our nervous systems on high alert, creating a low-grade, chronic stress that erodes our mental and physical health over time. We are trying to be something we were never meant to be. The wisdom of Ubuntu does not ask you to reject modern life and go live in a hut. It asks you to simply remember what kind of creature you are. You are not a machine optimized for productivity. You are not a brand to be curated and marketed. You are not an island, entire of yourself. You are a human being, made whole by others. The loneliness you feel is not a flaw in your character. It's not a sign of failure. It is a message. It is a biological and spiritual alarm bell, ringing to tell you that a fundamental human need is not being met. It is the same message that ancient people understood perfectly, a message that is the very heart of this philosophy, the core of our shared humanity. I am because we are. Take that with you. Let it be a compass. Seek out not just connection, but obligation. Not just conversations, but shared purpose. Build your own small pockets of Ubuntu. Your well-being depends on it. Thank you for watching.